We're back, it's Chino and Jules back for another big weekend of SFL TV. It's the one that we've all been waiting for because it's grand final weekend in the SFL.
And we'll speak to every club in every division and every grand final. The fixtures are on your screen. Don't forget to head down for an unmissable weekend of SFL footy.
Of course, there's plenty for you to keep an eye on, so we'll have some announcements as well, with some changes in the road traffic conditions around Springvale Reserve, so make sure you keep an eye and take note of those. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and preview all of the weekend's action. Well, this is the one we've all been waiting for. It is the Division 1 Grand Final this weekend between St Paul's and in Brighton. We welcome to the studio St Paul's senior coach, Paul Howroyd.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on SFL TV ahead of what's a very, very important match. You guys really have been battle ready, had a good hit out on the weekend. Would you say that you're going into this one as favourites?
I don't know. I suppose that's for you guys to decide. East Brighton, the reigning premiers, so you'd have to say that they'd be favourites. We had a pretty good season, finished on top of the ladder, but doesn't mean too much until the game's over after the weekend, I suppose. But it's all just speculation until then.
What happened in that last quarter against Dingley? You trailed by 8 points at three-quarter time and went on to win by 43. What was the reason for that massive turnaround?
We had hold in the game at half time, and I think we just sort of went our own way, went on our own direction in the third quarter. And Dingley just had a different structure. They put another couple of blokes behind the ball and ran the ball forward, and they all basically just had a decent go. And on that big ground, they opened us up a little bit. But three-quarter time, I think the attitude changed, a bit of a shift in momentum, and we ran over the top of them in the end. So it was very pleasing.
We hear that East Brighton was caught filming your quarter time and three-quarter time addresses to your players. Have you heard of that? Or? Oh
yeah, you hear them and you see them, and yeah, there's a couple of Dingley people over there as well. But I think they've just been watching a bit too much telly, to be quite honest.
Well, we'll have to get around the grounds man KC to get his big ears down there as well for the SFL radio coverage. Now, your consistency over the past few weeks, a couple of close encounters, dropped off by 6 goals in the third quarter last weekend. Is consistency a concern?
Well, I guess so. Once again, I think it all comes down to attitude. If they come with the right attitude and we just put 4 quarters together, we're very hard to beat. But once again, they've got their own plans and structures, and sometimes you need to adjust, and you've got to be able to adjust quickly. But and momentum's the big thing. If you can take control of the game and slow it down a little bit when you need to get things rolling again, it's such a big advantage. But sometimes they slip under your guard, and they can sort of get away from you.
Now, you've had an outstanding record this season. It really all comes down to this one final match, the 2 hours that you're going to spend on the field. What do you do to make sure that the guys are in absolute tip-top shape mentally when they hit the ground?
It's pretty much down to the week, I think. They know all our structures and all our setups, and they know what's required. It's pretty much just freshen them up for the week and try not to play the game before it comes around. It's a big week, grand final week, and it's such a big year to get there. And it's quite, you could quite easily, play the game before before the ball's even been bounced.
So we hear tonight that there's been, I think, a couple of rubbings out for the grand final. I think you guys might be affected down in the back line as well.
Yeah, Matt O'Rourke got reported against us in the first final that we played against East Brighton, and I believe that he got 2 weeks. And our fullback Trent McIntyre, he got 2 weeks as well, which is very disappointing. In the premiership year that. In 2008, Trent was young and he missed out on that final, and in 2011 he was injured. He missed out on that premiership, and unfortunately he's going to miss out on the chance this week as well, which is very saddening. He's such a great fella, and it was just a bit of a mind snap on the ground, and whether it was retaliation or whatever it was, I don't know. I don't know the full story, but yeah, it's just a very unfortunate situation.
So with East Brighton missing their fullback in the grand final, do you think it's time for the Luke James show to fire up again?
Yeah, Luke's a pretty exciting player. I'd like to see him fire up. In saying that, on the weekend he played his role, but he wasn't as dominant as he has been. But yeah, he's very exciting to watch once he gets going. He can really set the game alight, and he's just one of those guys that gets people through the gate as well. So we're hoping that happens as well.
Absolutely, and if he keeps on pulling down screamers like that, I'm sure the fans will keep coming. It's going to be a ripper this weekend. A close game is what we're looking forward to if recent history is anything to go by. So all the best.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for joining us on SFLTV tonight.
For live scores, team lineups, social media and YouTube, sfllive.com.au is your one-stop destination for your grand finals. Register with SFL Live and go in the draw to win the following great prizes. Head to sfllive.com.au. Registration is easy and it's free.
This Sunday, the 22nd of September, is Grand Final Day, and due to roadworks on and around Springvale Road this weekend, please note entry onto Newcomen Road will not be possible from the Springvale Road entrance. Please also note that the Springvale Road railway crossing will be blocked. In conjunction with Vic Roads and the City of Greater Dandenong, the SFL strongly advises all patrons to access Springvale Reserve via the displayed detour route, including Stevenson Street or Whitworth Avenue, pictured on your screen, accessible from Springvale Road. In light of these roadworks, the SFL encourages all patrons visiting Springvale Reserve for the SFL Division 1 Grand Final to plan accordingly and aim to arrive early. Now time to have a look at the Division 2 Grand Final between Bentleigh and Mordialloc. Both of these teams have spent 7 weeks on top of the ladder during the season, and this weekend they fight it out for the premiership. We welcome to the studio from Bentleigh their senior coach Brad Canavan, and from the Bloods senior coach Sam Anstey. Guys, welcome to the SFL studio.
Thanks boys. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Brad, you guys have had a few weeks off. Does this create any sense of nervousness or complacency in the team?
Oh no, mate. We went away to Noosa for 10 days, and no, I'm joking.
Gee, I was going to say that's pretty good. I mean, we need to head down to Bentleigh.
No, mate. We've
Can I get a spot in the team or not?
No, it's all good, mate. I mean, that's part and parcel of finishing on top. So you expect that, and we've dealt with that and trained hard. So it's all been fine, taken in our stride.
Brad, I just want to reel off some stats here to show how tight Division 2 has been. You've spent 7 weeks on top, 3 weeks second, 5 weeks third, and 2 weeks in fourth position. How is it? How have you seen this season in Division 2?
Yeah, exactly that. It's been you just had to be on your A game every week, and it sort of credit to the league, I guess, that your Division 2 comp can be that close. And you couldn't take any team lightly at any stage, so you had to get the boys up every week and be ready. And obviously things changed so quickly with the ladder. At one stage there we were sitting third late in the season, and Oakley lost. We suddenly jumped back to second. Then something happened the following week. We end up back on top, and thankfully and luckily for us, we were able to win the last couple of games and we finished on top. But yeah, amazing season. Just a nice, even, good competition.
Sam, your boys are obviously battle-hardened after yet another thrilling 1-point victory over the weekend. I guess the question is, can you back it up again? And how did your recovery go down at Mordy during the week?
Yeah, we've had a pretty tough run, to be honest with you. Even the last couple of rounds of the year, we were fighting just to make finals. And then, as you say, a pretty hard-fought win on the weekend after a 6-day break. But we are pretty close to the beach, so we've been heading down there a fair bit, during the week, and the boys get down there most days. So, hopefully we come up okay.
There seems to be a premiership curse at Oakley. Do you ever just stop and feel sorry for them, or you just don't care?
Well, I wasn't really aware of it before, very recently, to be honest with you. But they've been in the finals a long time, and I think they've won one ever, was what I got told. So, well, I don't feel sorry for them after the weekend, but yes, I don't know what they're going to get out of that.
No, I had no idea. Don't feel sorry for them either.
Were you at that game, Brad? Did you?
Oh yeah, yeah. I went and had a look at the first half, and then the boss put the text message through, so home for some dad duty by 4 o'clock. So yeah, it's good.
I mean, a question for Sam mainly, but Brad, you can chime in if you want as well. Paul Fermanagh said on this show last week that he would definitely be playing and take the field. Was it a surprise when he was walking around his thongs?
Yeah, we were prepared for him. We obviously knew he was under an injury cloud. He did his hamstring against us 2 weeks prior to that. So we were ready for him to play, but yeah, we were pretty happy when we saw he didn't warm up, for sure, yeah.
And Sam, can you tell me a little bit about your role as playing coach and just how you go about keeping an eye on everything that happens on the field and I guess taking that to the next step, making the decisions while you're on the field as well?
Yeah, so I've got two really trustworthy guys that run the bench for me, and I put a lot of trust into them, and they make a lot of moves. So it's kind of unique in that I get a really good perspective on the field, and then they throw in their 2 bobs, from what they see off the field. So it's been working out so far this year, and hopefully it works out for one more game.
You're both saying that you're teachers out of footy. How does that help with your coaching?
I think it is actually a really big help. Just working out how to deal with different personalities, in a classroom, and then you take that over to a footy team as well. And then obviously preparing each week, a lot of those things sort of transfer pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. The personality, I 100% agree with. Just being able to read different guys, probably the planning and being organised. I think they're skills that teachers generally have. So yeah, planning your training, being organised, communicating, all those sort of skills that probably are second nature for teachers. They just tie in particularly well with coaching and dealing with 50, 60 guys on a regular basis.
And just in terms of selling the message to the guys, what's the one key message that you've both got to get out to your boys this week?
Key message from me is that it's 120 minutes. I went and watched some local footy down the other end of the peninsula the other day and watched a team lose the unlosable. And so the message is simple: 120 minutes, or bad things will happen.
Yeah. I suppose our key message is consistency. We've had a lot of ups and downs throughout the year, and in games. So yeah, if we can just put out a consistent effort, we'll go okay.
Now during the week we've introduced the SFL Charter where we need to give you both equal time during the show. So only in fairness, I just need one key in or one key out from each of you before we wrap it up. We'll leave that till next week and after the grand final. Brad and Sam, thanks for joining us on SFL TV this week.
Too easy, boys. Thanks.
The 2013 Grand Final Sprint is finally here, where 8 contestants will compete for prizes courtesy of James Boags Draft. Watch those hammies, boys. The sprint will be at half-time of the Division 1 Senior Grand Final on Sunday the 22nd of September at Springvale Reserve between St Paul's and East Brighton. And the grand prize is $1,000 to the Grand Final winning player.
You're on SFL TV, Chino and Jules with you, and what a big weekend we do have coming up. It's grand final weekend, obviously, in the SFL. In Division 3, Doveton Eagles taking on Carrum Patterson-Lakes. And for Carrum Patterson-Lakes, they've already made history this season by making the grand final in their debut season. Can they take it one step further? Well, they're going to have to get over the Eagles to do so. We welcome to the studio Paul Davis, the coach from Doveton, and Shane Rowley, the assistant senior coach at Carrum Patterson-Lakes down there for the Lions. Welcome to you both. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Guys.
Obviously a big weekend coming up. I'll start with you, Shane. It was a brutal contest last weekend. Have you already played your grand final, or can you back it up?
Oh, I think we're every chance this weekend. All year we've played backs to the wall football, and we started off pretty slow in the season, and we've managed to keep getting along a little bit better every week. So there's no reason why we can't win.
I think there's probably absolutely no doubt that you've been thrown the challenge on many occasions. Last weekend against Dandenong included, and you've answered it without any problems.
Yeah, they came out pretty hard, pretty early, Dandenong. They got a few goals up, and it took us a little while to arrest control of the game, but we did all right.
And Paul, the boys down at Doveton, would you say nice and relaxed, but mentally prepared?
Yeah, definitely. Just enjoying the week. It's good to have secured our spot last week, but yeah, we're not taking anything for granted. We're working hard this week, so getting ready for it.
Shane, how proud is the club to be playing in a maiden grand final in their first season? It's a pretty good effort, isn't it?
Absolutely. We got a bunch of 70 or 80 blokes all put together, and obviously not everyone stuck around for the whole year, but we still picked up a few mid-season. The supporters have been super. You know, right from the first game, we've had a massive crowd for all our home games, and all proud's a really good word for it.
And do you go into the grand final with the mentality that there's perhaps nothing to lose?
Well, in essence, there is, because there's always something to lose in the game in a grand final. No one wants to lose, but you know, Doveton are going in favourites. They've undefeated so far for the year, and we'll give it our 100%. And if it's good enough on the day, it's good enough.
Paul, just on that, being undefeated so far this season, is it harder to prepare for that one game and needing to come up with that one win, I guess, as opposed for being undefeated right throughout the season?
Yeah, it can add a bit more pressure, and you see it every year. Sides go undefeated and then either straight sets or lose the last one. But we haven't thought too much about it all year. We didn't aim to be undefeated. It just panned out that way, and we're rapt to do that. It's the first time ever at our club. So for us now, it's just if we keep doing what we've been doing, we think we're our game plan and everything will hold up.
So Paul, you've got the added advantage of having the week off. What did the boys do in that week off?
Yeah, obviously after playing CPL the first final, the Tuesday night was just a light one. It was a pretty hard game, but then the weekend we all trained, met pretty early on the Saturday morning at our ground, had a training session for about an hour, and then went down and watched CPL in Dandenong. And this week, obviously tonight was the first session, just into it again, training and as normal, as much as we can anyway.
And having watched that game, Carrum Patterson-Lakes last week, do you gain much just from being, just watching in the stands?
Yeah, definitely. It's you're always playing against them, and myself, I play, so you're out there all the time, and you can't always get a gist of the game. But it was good to watch them, and it was sort of hard, as Shane said. Dandenong sort of got off to a flyer, and 1 minute you think you might be playing them, and then all of a sudden, CPL really regrouped well and finished the game off good. So it's good to get a look at some of their players.
One final quick one for both of you. Why do you think you're going to win? In one word.
First one.
We've got a pretty good back line, and I think we can control the Doveton forward line.
As I said, ours has been good all year, our pace and spread, and we've got some really good young players, and I think on the day they can step up.
Best of luck to you both, and all the best for Saturday.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Well, we've got something brand new, a special segment for you this week. It's called SFLTV Gone Interactive. Now, we don't have a red button, so don't go and reach for your remotes, but this is what you need to do. We've got 3 clips, and what we want you to do is to vote and comment on your favourite ones on YouTube. So let's get straight into it, Jules, and let's cut to that first clip.
Set him up.
The umpires, they have it hard enough. And on to clip 2. This is not AFL 360, this is SFL 360.
Oh, jeez. Oh, the ball's still bouncing. It's a goal.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a goal.
Is it a goal?
Yeah, it was kicked.
I'm waiting. Yes!
So that's got to be one of the hardest bumps and one of the strangest goals of the year this season. And how about this one? You can't get any better than this. It even made it to the footy show, Almost Footy Legends. Luke James, he got so high, they spotted him from the air traffic control tower at Murrumbeena. Here he is.
So which of the clips is your favourite? Let us know in the comments below.
Well, we're giving the Young Guns a run this week on SFL TV. Last weekend, Murrumbeena pipped Sky in an absolute heart stopper, and they've earned a spot in the granny against Bentleigh in the studio. we have the captain of Bentleigh, Mark Smith, in the under-19s, and from Murrumbeena, their vice-captain, Bryn played. Boys, welcome to the SFL studio.
Cheers, thanks for having us.
Mate.
Great to be with us. How are you feeling? I guess a question to both of you. How are you feeling ahead of your grand final appearances this week?
Yeah, look, boys have obviously settled in well. I guess everyone's a bit nervy and that, but I think we're doing all right, pretty well through it. So.
Yeah, I think with us, it's finally sunk in the nerves at training tonight. You can tell it was grand final week and the boys are pretty up and about. We're pretty sore, obviously, from 2 real close games, but now we're ready and we're looking forward to the weekend.
Bryn, do the boys take a huge amount of confidence into this week's game?
Yeah, they do. I thought after the first against Sky, I thought we'd be struggling this year, but came out against St Paul's and a real crack. Got up just then, and then against Sky we hang on with a thriller, and that was one of the best wins I've played personally. I think the team got real belief this week, leading to training. We're all up and about and ready to rock this week.
And Bryn, despite Bentleigh finishing on top of the ladder, you did beat them by 50 points earlier in the season. How much confidence does that give you?
Yeah, well, we know that we match up well against Bentleigh. Like, we know when we played against them for 3 years straight, and it's been close most games, really. Like, they've beaten us once, we've beaten them once. I think we had a few different players in at the start of the year compared to now, but I think we have the belief as a team that we can do it. We're not confident or anything, but we just know if we get our stuff right, it'll be a close game, no matter what.
And you said you were pretty sore.
Yeah.
Having that week there last week. So, question for you, Mark. You guys, Bentleigh, they've had the week off. How are your teammates feeling and you personally?
Yeah, I think obviously having that week break gives you that momentum coming in. But all the boys are everyone's raring to go as you would grand final week. So everyone's looking fit, ready to go. So that's good.
Mark, another one for you. Murrumbeena knocked off Sky last week. Does it give you the jitters that they've claimed a big scale?
Oh, I suppose it was a good win. We a few of us boys went down, had a watch of it, but I think coming in finals footy, you think anything can happen, so you just got to be on our game on the day, I guess. So, but we're ready for it.
Bryn, there's been some suggestions that the Murrumbeena boys probably struggled to run out games at the end there on a big ground such as Springvale Reserve. Do you think that's a fair assessment?
Oh, maybe by looks of the games, we've had a 6-goal lead or 5-goal lead against St Paul's, and they came back and almost pipped us, and the same against Sky. But I suppose with 18 players, it's bound to always get a bit tired. But I don't say we're that unfit, but I reckon if we do what we do well, I can't see any reason why they're going to run over us. I think if we can hold them off and just play the way we want, then it should be a close game. What we want after, that's what we're after.
So one final one to you both. Did you have any very big celebrations after the prelim, or have you saved yourself up for this weekend?
Oh, well, for us, we were planning on having a get-together, of course, after Sunday because we're all stoked, but I think we're all pretty wrecked and we're all in bed pretty early, resting up for this week. That's what bigger things to come.
Yeah, well, that's the same. We've after our Sky game, it's just been minds on since then, since we've known the outcome. Minds on the game, ready to go for it.
Well, all the best to you both. Best of luck, and hopefully you'll turn on a ripper for the crowd this weekend.
Cheers.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
That brings our grand final preview show to the end here on SFL TV. I reckon we've given you almost everything that you need to know about this weekend's matches.
I can't wait, Chino, to see all the action unfold. Doesn't matter what's happened during the season, it's all about what happens on grand final day.
That's exactly right. It only matters this weekend, so good luck to all of the teams. Hopefully there'll be some rip-snorting games and a few upsets as well that we can talk about next week.